Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of learning how to do web testing and website interaction using Selenium and Python. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's start by opening our code editor and navigating to the folder where we created our virtual environment in Python. Do that by clicking on File and click on Open Folder. Once you're inside your folder, create a Python file by clicking this icon right here that says New File and name it main.py. As for me, I have already created this file, so I won't be doing this step anymore. Now to initialize our WebDriver, we must import its module. To do that, type in from Selenium, import WebDriver, like so. We should also create a driver variable which contains our WebDriver instance. Type in driver equals WebDriver dot Chrome or any Chromium web browser that you have currently installed in your computers. Once that's done, the way for us to open any website that we want is by using the driver.get method. And in here, we will pass in the URL for the website that we will be browsing using our automated tester. Let's try opening Google. So for example, we want to go to Google. Just copy the website's URL, paste it inside here, and let's try running the code. So to run the code, we type Python space the name of the file. Now for Mac users, instead of Python right here, you should type in Python 3. But since I am using a Windows OS, I'll go ahead and type this one. And as you can see, that was really fast. But it opened the Google website on a test browser. Now for us to see that clearly, let's try putting in a delay. To do that, we use the time module or the time class. In here, we input the amount of seconds that we want the delay to happen. So let's try 5 seconds. As you can see, there's a squiggly line inside our time right here, which says time is not yet defined because we didn't input or import this time module yet. Let's go ahead and do that now by typing in import time. After that, our time module should already be activated. Let's go ahead and try running the code again by either typing Python and the file name or clicking the run Python file here. That looks great. After 5 seconds, it should quit the driver. Another way for us to quit the driver is by using the driver.quit function. So let's try that again. That looks good and it should be working. Another thing that we can do to our test window is to maximize its window. So again, let's call in our driver variable and this time pass in the maximize window function. And let's see how that looks like. Let's try adding in a delay of 1 second so we can see that clearly. As you can see, it maximizes the window after a certain delay. Then the driver.quit will happen after 5 seconds of delay. Similarly, we can also do minimizing of windows using the minimize window function. For now, let's leave the maximize window, and let's not put the delay anymore. And let's go ahead and do some selecting or locating by finding the elements in our Google web page. Now to do that, we just have to locate the HTML elements in that web page. Now, for example, in our Google web page right here, we have a bunch of interactables like this search bar right here, this microphone icon, this camera icon, this button right here that says Google search, this I'm feeling lucky button, this hyperlink right here, and also this hyperlink right here. Now, what should happen if I try to click some of this? You can see that a drop-down menu of trending searches should open up. Now, let's try emulating that using our test software. Now, to do that, we can use the driver.findElement method. Now, there are several ways in finding elements using Selenium. The first thing that we're gonna try is by using the by module or the by class and searching a certain ID for a certain element. As you can see right here, our by is not defined again, and it has this squiggly line right here. So let's try and importing that right now by typing in from Selenium .webdriver .common .by. Let's import the by class, and it should be colored after that. Now, if we're gonna be searching a certain element by its ID, like so, let's try finding the ID, for example, for this search button right here, or search field. To do that, we must inspect the element. And in here, we can see an element locator right here. And let's just hover over to this part right here where we want to search. And inside this element, it has a bunch of attributes. For example, a class, area controls, area owns. Since we want to find it by its ID, let's copy its ID attribute value in here. It says APJ something something. And let's copy that. And let's paste it in here. And let's try another method in here that will click that element. And let's see if we can find that element by its ID and click it at the same time. As you can see, we were able to successfully click this automatically using this find element method and the .click method as well. Now, finding it by its ID isn't the only method to use in here. You can also try finding it by its class name. Now, let's try that if that will work. Again, in here, we have this class value right here. Let's try copying it and pasting it inside here. And play again. As you can see, that works as well. So now let's try it again, but using selectors hub. Now, the one convenient way to find these elements using selectors hub is we can just select an element that we want to locate and right click on it and click on selectors hub and copy its ID. Now by doing this, we can conveniently copy its ID without looking through all the attributes that is available for that element. Now let's try that again. As you can see, that works much faster and it works just fine as well. Now, what if we're gonna find something or an element in the web page that doesn't contain an ID or a class name? Now, let's go ahead and try that right now. For example, I want to click in this search by image icon right here. So it should prompt as follows. We can also try finding this element by using selectors hub. So it won't work on an incognito window. Let's try using a normal instance of Google. And again, right click and click on inspect. And in here, we can see our selectors hub tab. And we can see a bunch of ways on how to locate certain elements. Now again, if I want to click on this element right here, we can see that this particular element doesn't have a class or an ID. Now what we can do is to find this element by its CSS selector or its XPath. Now what makes selectors hub convenient is we can put in a certain syntax and just replace what we want to replace by this keyword right here. So for example, we want to find something by its XPath value. We can type in the exact syntax that we want it to be. So for Python, it should be this syntax right here, driver.find underscore element by XPath, then comma, its XPath value enclosed in double quotes. In other scripting languages, you can use this second syntax right here. But for me, or for us, since we're using Python, let's go ahead and use this one. And we don't need to type this one by one in our Selenium or in our code editor. I'm gonna click the relative XPath right here, and let's try pasting this on our code editor. Let's click on run. And as you can see, that works as well. And we don't need to manually type this whole thing right here. We can just use selectors hub to click that for us. So now that we know how to locate some of the elements inside our web page, let's try again searching something by clicking in, of course, our search bar right here. Again, let's use this element locator right here and search for this search field right here. And let's try copying it and locating it by its XPath value as follows. Let's try running it again. And let's see if it can click it using the XPath value. So that works. And after that, since it is a search bar or a search field of course, we can type something in it and search for a value, right? So we can do that by using the find element, like this one, and appending the send keys method. Now, for example, I want to search for a certain text. I'll try putting in one code camp in small letters. And after that, I also want to hit the enter key. As you can see, our keys function is not defined yet. So let's go ahead and import that right now by typing in from Selenium .webDriver .common .keys import keys, like this one. Now the squiggly line should be removed after doing that. So what we need to do now, or what we are trying to do now, is click the search bar and then type in a certain value, which is in this case one code camp. So let's try doing that right now. As you can see here, it successfully found or searched for one code camp. And that will be it for the part 3 of our Selenium and Python series. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the One Code Camp channel. Thank you for watching.